Welcome to Study the Bible with me. Today we are continuing from where we stopped last time, so grab your Bible and let's dig right in. Numbers chapter 20. Then the entire community of Israel entered the wilderness of Zin in the first month, and the people stayed in Kadesh. Miriam died and was buried there, and there was no water for the community, and so they gathered themselves together against Moses and Aaron. The people contended with Moses, saying, "If only we had died when our brothers died before the Lord. Why have you brought up the Lord's community into this wilderness, so that we and our cattle should die here? Why have you brought us up from Egypt only to bring us to this dreadful place? It is no place for grain, or figs, or vines, or pomegranates, nor is there any water to drink." So Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly of the entrance of the tent of meeting. They then threw themselves down with their faces to the ground, and the glory of the Lord appeared to them. The Lord spoke to Moses, "Take the staff and assemble the community, you and Aaron your brother, and then speak to the rock before their eyes, and it will pour forth its water, and you will bring water out of the rock for them. And so you will give the community and their beasts water to drink." So Moses took the staff from before the Lord, just as he commanded him. Then Moses and Aaron gathered the community together in front of the rock, and he said to them, "Listen, you rebels, must we bring water out of this rock for you?" Then Moses raised his hand and struck the rock twice with his staff, and water came out abundantly. So the community drank, and their beasts drank too. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, "Because you did not trust me enough to show me as holy before the Israelites, therefore you will not bring this community into the land I have given them. These are the waters of Meribah, because the Israelites contended with the Lord, and his holiness was maintained among them." Moses sent messengers from Kadesh to the king of Edom. "Thus says your brother Israel, you know all the hardships we have experienced, how our ancestors went down into Egypt, and we lived in Egypt a long time. And the Egyptians treated us and our ancestors badly. So when we cried to the Lord, he heard our voice and sent a messenger, and has brought us up out of Egypt. Now we are here in Kadesh, a town on the edge of your country. Please let us pass through your country. We will not pass through the fields or through the vineyards, nor will we drink water from any well. We will go by the king's highway. We will not turn to the right or to the left until we have passed through your region." But Edom said to him, "You will not pass through me, and I will come out against you with a sword." Then the Israelites said to him, "We will go along the highway, and if we or our cattle drink any of your water, we will pay for it. We will only pass through on our feet without doing anything else." But he said, "You may not pass through." Then Edom came out against them with a large and powerful force. So Edom refused to give Israel passage through his border. Therefore Israel turned away from him. So the entire company of Israelites traveled from Kadesh and came to Mount Hor. The Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron in Mount Hor, by the border of the land of Edom. He said, "Aaron will be gathered to his ancestors, for he will not enter into the land I have given to the Israelites, because both of you rebelled against my word as the waters of Meribah. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son, and bring them up at Mount Hor. Remove Aaron's priestly garments, and put them on Eleazar his son, and Aaron will be gathered to his ancestors, and will die there." So Moses did as the Lord commanded, and they went up Mount Hor in the sight of the whole community. And Moses removed Aaron's garments and put them on his son Eleazar. So Aaron died there on the top of the mountain, and Moses and Eleazar came down from the mountain. When all the community saw that Aaron was dead, the whole house of Israel mourned for Aaron 30 days. Chapter 21. When the Canaanite king of Arad, who lived in the Negev, heard that Israel was approaching along the road of Ephraim, he fought against Israel and took some of them prisoner. So Israel made a vow to the Lord and said, "If you will indeed deliver these people into our hand, then we will utterly destroy their cities." The Lord listened to the voice of Israel and delivered up the Canaanites, and they utterly destroyed them and their cities. So the name of the place was called Homer. Then they traveled from Mount Hor by the road of the Red Sea to go around the land of Edom. But the people became impatient along the way, and the people spoke against God and against Moses. "Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread or water, and we detest this worthless food." So the Lord sent poisonous snakes among the people, and they bit the people. Many people of Israel died. Then the Lord came to Moses and said, "We have seen..." Many people of Israel died. Then the people came to Moses and said, "We have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against you. Pray to the Lord that he would take away the snakes from us." So Moses prayed for the people. The Lord said to Moses, "Make a poisonous snake and set it on a pole. When anyone who is bitten looks at it, he will live." So Moses made a bronze snake and put it on a pole, so that if a snake had bitten someone, when he looked at the bronze snake, he lived. The Israelites traveled on and camped in Oboth. Then they traveled on from Oboth and camped at Abarim in the wilderness, that is before Moab, on the east side. From there they moved on and camped in the valley of Zered. From there they moved on and camped on the other side of Arnon, in the wilderness that extends from the regions of the Amorites, from Arnon, in the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. This is why it is said in the book of the words of the Lord, Waheb in Supah, and the Wadis, the Arnon, and the slope of the valleys that extends to the dwelling of Ar, and falls off at the border of Moab. And from there they traveled to Beer, that is the well where the Lord spoke to Moses, "Gather the people, and I will give them water." Then Israel sang this song, "Spring up, O well, sing to it. The well which the princes dug, which the leaders of the people opened with their scepters and their staffs." And from the wilderness they traveled to Matana, and from Matana to Nahaliel, and from Nahaliel to Bamoth, and from Bamoth to the valley that is in the country of Moab, near the top of Pisgah, which overlooks the wilderness. Then Israel sent messengers to King Sihon of the Amorites, saying, "Let us pass through your land. We will not turn aside into the fields, all into the vineyards, nor will we drink water from any well, but we will go along the king's highway until we pass your borders." But Sihon did not permit Israel to pass through his border. He gathered all his forces together and went out against Israel into the wilderness. When he came to Jahaz, he fought against Israel. But the Israelites defeated him in battle and took possession of his land from the Arnon to the Jabbok, as far as the Ammonites, for the border of the Ammonites was strongly defended. So Israel took all these cities, and Israel settled in all the cities of Amorites. So Israel took all these cities, and Israel settled in all the cities of the Amorites, in Heshbon and in all its villages. For Heshbon was the city of King Sihon of the Amorites. Now he had fought against the former king of Moab, and had taken all of his land from his control, as far as the Arnon. That is why those who speak in Proverbs say, "Come to Heshbon, let it be built. Let the city of Sihon be established." For fire went out from Heshbon, a flame from the city of Sihon. It has consumed Ar of Moab, and the lords of the high places of Arnon. Woe to you, Moab! You are ruined, O people of Chemosh. He has made his sons fugitives, and his daughters the prisoners of King Sihon of the Amorites. We have overpowered them. Heshbon has perished as far as Dibon. We have shattered them as far as Nopab, which reaches to Medeba. So the Israelites lived in the land of the Amorites. Moses sent spies to reconnoiter Jazer, and they captured its villages and disposed the Amorites who were there. Then they turned and went up by the road to Bashan. And King Og of Bashan and all his forces marched out against them to do battle at Edrei. And the Lord said to Moses, "Do not fear him, for I have delivered him and all his people and his land into your hand. You will do him what you did to King Sihon of the Amorites, who lived in Heshbon." So they defeated Og, his sons, and all his people, until there were no survivors, and they possessed his land. We're going to be stopping here today. Next time we're going to be starting from Numbers chapter 22. I'll see you then.